All right, guys, the day has finally come. My AL0s have arrived from Iceriver. I got 2 of them. Very special shout out to K1 Pool. As you guys know, I only ordered 1 of these, but K1 Pool reached out and they wanted to basically be my exclusive pool for Alephium. And for the price of that, they sent me an AL0, so I'm very thankful for them for doing that. And be sure to check out my referral code in the description. If you're gonna be mining Alephium, you might as well use that code and sign up on K1 Pool. They're definitely one of my favorite pools for just general usability, and their dashboard is incredible for seeing how much you've mined historically. But getting into this, let's open these bad boys up and get them set up. So I ordered these, or at least ordered mine, about a month ago, and I was just a little bit disappointed because a lot of the other creators, oh, I opened these all upside down, didn't I? A lot of the other creators got theirs about a month ago. So I know you guys don't just want to see a generic setup video because you've probably already seen that, but we are going to get them hooked up, see what my power usage looks like. Is this one upside down as well? No, this one's correct. So take a look at this one. Supposedly they look the exact same. They may be a little heavier than the kaspa versions, which I already have 2 of course, of the ultras. But this is what it looks like. I don't actually see where it says. Oh, there we go. AL0. So I did not get the power supply version, but luckily I still have my standard power supplies since my 2 kaspa miners are using overclocked PSUs, which I will need to eventually get for these if I plan on overclocking. But I'm not gonna do that right away. I'm just gonna get these bad boys running stock and then put them up on that shelf, and I'll move those other ones up there as well. So by the end of this video, we should have 4 of these sitting up there. And I want to get these bad boys running immediately, and then we can hop on the computer and take a look at what yield looks like and everything like that. So try not to break anything here. Huh, and this one actually did come with the PSU. But it looks like this is a European plug, maybe? Someone let me know down below, what kind of plug is this? Thank God I have PSUs, but that's interesting that, I guess maybe the one that K1 Pool sent me had a PSU. Unfortunately, it's not one I can use, but no worries. I probably have, I forget if this is maybe a C9 or whatever this is. I probably have one of these. And I also probably have a European adapter, but I've already got the other one, so I won't worry about that for now. Let's get this out of here. And all right, so I went from having 0 asics to I've now got 4 home asics, which is pretty awesome. Now, how profitable they are, we'll have to see. The kaspa ones are not going too great on ROI, though yesterday was the KRC 20 launch, and that profits were amazing that day. I think I got, I don't know, 30 or 40 kaspa off my 2 overclocked units, so that was crazy. But okay, let's get these set up. First thing we need to do is get these 2 power supplies plugged in. And I'm planning on plugging these into this power strip right here. And this won't be the permanent home. I'll eventually get these onto the 240 amps or the 240 volt PDU. But for right now, this is all I have, so I'm gonna run them off of the 120. So how long are these power cords? Can I stick this up top here and still reach this power cord? It looks like I can, down to the PDU or the power strip. So get the dust off it and plug that in. Do the same with this one. Now this is a high power power strip, and these things only run 120 watts each, so It's definitely nothing crazy, but in general, you do not want to run mining stuff off of a 120 volt power strip like that unless you're sure it can handle it. I just had a mini heart attack because I don't have enough Ethernet slots in my little switches here. I've got one port available over there so I could power one of them, but my second switch back here is at max capacity. So I've got two long Ethernet cables, but I only have one switch. And so what I can do temporarily is I'm gonna unplug the Ethernet from my little garage PC, and that way I'll have two ready to go. But I obviously need a much larger switch for back here because I'm gonna have a lot of devices, especially once I get this salad rig going. So I'm gonna unplug that for now, but that's definitely something I'm gonna buy is a bigger switch, because ideally I have one switch up here with like 4 very short cords that go to my 4 Asics or my 5 up here. So just for organization purposes, so I don't have 5 long Ethernet cables like these running all over the place. So let me get these plugged in and then we'll go ahead and plug those in. Thankfully, we're gonna be able to run them. I would have been pissed if I had to wait an extra day just for an Ethernet switch. All right, let's get these bad boys plugged in. So for now I'm gonna orient them this way because I made a mistake on the KS0s where the lights were in the back. So anytime I want to see if they're mining, I was having to go around to the back each time, but I'm not gonna do that here. So let's take our barrel plugs, plug those in. And actually, if I remember the directions from Iceriver correctly, you want to plug in the Ethernet first. I made that mistake on my other one as well. And then you want to plug in your barrel plugs. Let me get on a stool here. So let me know in the comments, guys, did you get an AL0 or are you getting any other sort of Alephium Asic? Let me know. I think as far as profitability, they look pretty good right now, but we'll see how long they actually stay. I know that Iceriver just released an insane, I think it's the AL5 or some big box ASIC that just blew the price of Bitmains away, and that's gonna add a lot of hash rate. But the good news is that these things are about as efficient as that miner, so we shouldn't have to turn off before anybody else does, which is like one of the most important things. So, okay. Let me orient these a little better. I'm gonna put these power boxes on their sides so they can air out a little better. In case they get too hot, we'll scoot these over a bit. This one is already blinking like it's mining somehow. And I haven't set up the pool information or anything, so that's interesting. Okay, and before I go set those up, let's get the other two moved up here so we can see everything in a nice line. So this is what we're working with back here. Luckily, all the cables should stretch to that top shelf. These are long enough, and my Ethernet are as well. So instead of taking the shrouds off and pulling the barrel plug, I'm just gonna unplug them right here. So I'm gonna do that right now, and then I'll set them up there. All right, all plugged in. I'm gonna need to get some cable. Zoom out here. I'm gonna need to get some sort of cable management going here at some point, even just like some wire clamps to be able to hold all these wires here. This will be cleaned up a little bit once I get that next switch to make this a little cleaner up here. But overall, let me show you from the front. Looks pretty good. A full crypto mining shelf. Obviously this isn't running. If GPU mining gets a bit more profitable, then I'll be turning that guy back on and maybe start looking for some crazy GPU deals. But that is what it looks like. So let's hop into the computer and get these mining to K1 pool, and we'll discuss how profitable they are, what the yield is gonna look like, and how long is it gonna be until we break even on those bad boys. So it looks pretty good. All right, guys, now that I've got my AL0s plugged in, let's quickly get these things set up. I'm not going to go through a full tutorial because you guys have already probably seen a lot of them, but we're going to get them hooked up to K1 Pool, and then we're going to go over what profitability is going to look like. So go on to the Iceriver website, and they've got this Iceriver monitor tool, and this is actually not the right one. That is T-Swift's. We want the Iceriver miner tool. And this is going to allow you to scan your IP addresses and find which ones actually have Iceriver devices on them. So it only found 3, which is concerning because there should be 4, my 2 KS0 Ultras and my other one. So one of them is this .52 address. So let's go to that one, .52. And it's going to be admin 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and we can see that it is mining, and it's mining to one of Iceriver's wallets. I guess that's probably why it was already flashing that green light right when we plugged it in. Those guys are just trying to get every dollar out of you. So let's quickly switch this one to the correct settings before I try to figure out why I'm only seeing one of them. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing both. So you're going to go to K1 Pool here, and then you're going to go to mining pools and look up Alephium, which is Blake 3. And then somewhere on here we should be able to get our, let's see, we are Iceriver AL0, so we'll copy this address right here, and then we can plug that back in to the Iceriver tool right here. So that's our pool address. Put that in all 3 for now. And then we need to put in our actual K1 Pool, not your Alephium address, but your K1 Pool like account little mining address. So you go to your account and you get it right here. So copy that, plug that in, and then you want to put a period in your worker name. So this is going to be AL01 underscore 1, and we'll copy that and put it on all 3. And then you want to just hit save. You can also set this to 100%. Save, save, and then restart device. Okay. So let me scan this again and figure out why only one of these devices is showing up. It should be 4. 52 is not showing up because that's when we just restarted. So okay, maybe this is working fine. 53 is one of my kaspa ones because it's already set up. So this 66 is the other one. So I don't know why it didn't show up originally, but it is showing up now. And we're gonna do the same steps here, and I'll check back in a second. All right, guys, both of them are up and mining. Our hash rates are starting to get settled here. So 404 on the 5-minute there and 445 on the 5-minute there. They're supposed to be running at 400 gigahash, so it looks like we're in the correct range, at least for the 5-minute. We'll have to wait until the 30-minute updates. And then even the 30-minute can be somewhat unreliable, so I recommend going to the pool and actually looking at your hash rate over like a period of a whole day. So this is K1 Pool for Alephium. You can see that both my miners have showed up here. You always want to check that because sometimes they'll look like they're mining, but if you don't see it in the pool, then they're not actually mining. And you want to give this like 5 to 10 minutes to actually update. So if you want to join K1's Alephium pool, I'll have a code down below in the description where you can get 0% pool fees for 15 days. I think you have to be a brand new K1 pool registration and use that code. Otherwise, I'll just have my referral link for everybody else. I think there may still be a deal on that as well, but just use it and we'll see what happens. Last thing I wanted to discuss is basically how important the timing is on buying these Iceriver Asic models. They are pretty low risk, low reward. They're very cheap, but they don't make a ton of money. But it's extremely important if you want to make your money back on these to either get them very quickly or time your buys very well. and it's very difficult to do. I've done it incorrectly the last 2 times I bought these miners, so I'm still learning. You guys know I'm relatively new to the Asic game, but let me show you why all this matters so much. So today is 9/17, and if you look at the estimated profits of the AL0 over the last month, it's pretty drastic. So when a lot of people got their AL0s, if you bought from Iceriver on, I guess, the very first few days that they released it, Iceriver sent those units out way earlier than any other reseller, because the reseller orders, they didn't ship till a day ago, and that was basically 3 weeks later. So when other YouTubers and the original people bought them, they were making $8 a day, which quickly dropped to $4.93, and I bet this drop is the first batch that got released. So $8 a day, you would have made your money back in 100 days on this thing, whereas now it's at about $2 a day, and you can see just from yesterday, it's already gone down 40 cents. That's probably the next batch, the ones that I just set up basically. It's already down to $2 a day, which already takes our ROI to 400 days. So just that month makes all the difference, and you want to make sure that you're buying these at the correct time and hopefully getting them ASAP. The next thing is, if you're not going to get them ASAP, you're almost better off waiting for a price drop, because I bought these for $800 something and they're already down to $710. So if I had waited a month, then I would have gotten a slightly cheaper price, and it would have basically made up for that drop in profitability in the month that I didn't have it. Though I'm not entirely sure if the $700 models are shipping now, or if that's like a month from now, because if it's a month from now, then it kind of offsets that point anyway. But stay tuned. I'm going to be making a lot more AL0 content. I already have all of the parts on order to do the overclocking. I am going to overclock these units. Same reason as kaspa. You want to get as much yield as possible while hash rate is still relatively low, because as you can see, it's going up very quickly. So we're going to overclock these. I'm going to have a full guide for you guys, and make sure if you're going to be mining Alephium to check out K1 Pool, and thanks again for them sponsoring this video. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Modern Mining.